Hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of All the Mods 8. Now I finished this final little room here for us to get into and hopefully finish FTB Industrial Contraptions today. I'm not exactly sure how much space I'm going to need for this again, so again I just made it very easy to push back if I have to. But yeah, just a very small room for this mod. I think we shouldn't need a whole lot more space, I don't believe. But yeah, that basically will conclude our design of our underground lab area. And I'm honestly really happy with how it all came together. Now, FTB Industrial Contraptions is a bit of a unique mod in a sense that it requires making machines that use power, but it uses its own kind of power called zaps. Cannot use this, however you can convert zaps to FE, 1 zap to 4 FE, but you cannot convert the other way around. So unfortunately, we can't make use of all of the power we have, all of the FE we have in that induction matrix. We have to get ourselves set up with some power from the FTB Industrial Contraptions mod. And we have a couple of options in terms of power. We have some basic generators, which basically uses normal fuel as the input for the generator, and it will smelt 1 item of fuel to generate 2000 zap. For example, 1 coal smelts 8 items and generates 16,000 zap. However, it is a very low tier generator and only can output 10 zaps per tick, which I don't know exactly what we're going to be needing for this mod, but I assume that the higher the throughput rate we can get here, the better. So it gives you a bit of a rundown about the machines that we're going to be using in this mod. It says, to generalize, there are 4 categories of machine. There are the generators that make the energy, cables that move your energy, there's battery boxes like this, I believe, to store energy, and then the machines spend your energy. So fairly basic stuff. You know, most mods have some sort of battery buffer, cables, and generators, such as mechanism, so hopefully this shouldn't be too difficult. Now, I was looking at doing the solar panel for our energy production, and it looks like we can get up to 512 zaps per tick, but unfortunately, we are doing this underground, so getting the solar panels to work properly could be a bit of a pain, because we'd have to set this up upstairs, and then we had to run some cabling all the way down here. So the other option I was looking at is the geothermal generator. It, again, is quite low output. It is a LV, and it can do 20 zaps per tick. This one only does 10, though, so this one is at least twice as fast as the basic generator. The solar panels can do quite a bit more, but again, they're going to be a little more complicated to set up. And in order to get one that's better than the geothermal, we would have to get to the HV tier. And to be honest, I think probably the reactor itself might be the better solution if we are going to need a lot of power. Now, we are going to have to do a little bit of crafting here to get this geothermal generator. I have the industrial grade metal on AutoCraft already. It's just a matter of smelting one piece of iron, so that's really easy. The actual iron or basic generator itself, which we need to actually make the geothermal, this requires an iron furnace, and now we just need an LV battery. Now, this requires some tin, redstone, and an LV cable. We already have the LV cable on AutoCraft, but we'll grab a couple just like so. And that should allow us to craft an LV battery very easily, which will then let us craft, if I AutoCraft these first, can craft the basic generator. So we could actually just go ahead and use this if we wanted to, or we can directly upgrade this to the geothermal generator, which uses lava to convert power. So I think that might be a pretty good option. The only thing that I'm realizing is we don't actually have a good source of lava right now. We could use the laser drill in potentially the nether to drill for lava, but I think there's probably a better way. And that way is by using the create mod. So the create mod has something called a hose pulley. And this is actually, I think, pretty easy to craft. If we have some kelp, we can throw some kelp into a furnace. We'll just throw that in here like so. And then we have to craft one of these into a block of kelp, just like that. Now, the rest of the hose pulley is just some stripped log. So let's get ourselves a couple of those and a copper ingot. And this is how you make the copper casings, just like so. And we'll put those away. And then finally, we can get the hose pulley. Now, this is actually a very powerful tool that we can use with Create to actually very easily get ourselves infinite lava. Okay, so I am back here in the nether because how we're actually going to go about getting infinite lava is by going ahead and finding a big lava source in the nether. And that shouldn't be too difficult to do, seeing as lava is quite common. For example, this lava source right here should be actually perfect for what we need. We'll actually go ahead and make a little spot in here maybe. And then we can block ourselves in. Once we get this thing set up, we shouldn't actually have to come back here very often. But we are going to have to claim the chunk we're in. All we have to do now is effectively dig straight down until we get to, hopefully, the lava. And I think this should be connected to the infinite sources of lava. So what we're going to do is take our hose pulley, put it down over top of this hole that we've made, and put a hand crank on the other side. Now, you have to hold shift and right click for this to lower itself down into the lava. And what we should be able to do is drop this as far down as we can. And if there's enough lava underground here, Create will actually have this act as if it was infinite lava and basically never drain any of the lava from down there and give us an infinite supply. And the way we can check that, I believe, is by just taking our tool here. And we actually get a achievement for that saying, pump from a body of lava large enough to be considered infinite. So now this will actually not ever drain any of the lava down there, I believe. Now we have 32 buckets of lava, and this will always keep itself restocked because we have the chunk loaded. And this is basically just infinite lava in the simplest way possible. So now we can basically set up our basic generator and we can craft it into the next tier, which is the geothermal, just like so. And that basically has given us an infinite source of power for this machine. I'm not 100% sure how I want this to run, but I'm thinking we just have our power system behind all of this area here. So all we have to do then is just put this down here. I believe just put this down, probably just like so, and then just pipe some lava into it, possibly from the top like this. And then we extract, and this hopefully, there we go, it is generating power. Perfect, and that is basically just infinite power. Now that we have a source of power, we have to get ourselves into the actual mod itself and see what kind of machines we need to be able to power. Because there are quite a few things that we do need from this mod, I'm going to go ahead and just go through and pin all the things we need so that it makes it easier to see what machines we actually need as well. Okay, so the 4 items that I see that we need are the antimatter crystal and the regular antimatter, as well as a nuke and an EV solar panel. But stuff like this nuke just requires some things like the advanced machine block. Now, I do have something set up on AutoCraft already, like these advanced circuits. These just require some basic crafting and then also just more crafting, so that's nothing special. But what we need is to get the advanced machine block, which we will put on AutoCraft. Now, the advanced machine block requires a regular machine block, which is just some industrial grade metal, and this fuse. The fuse itself is actually very easy, so let's go ahead and make the that AutoCraft recipe, because we are going to probably need a couple of those. And to get the advanced, we have to take this regular machine block and then take some carbon plates. And for that, we're going to need a compressor, which we're going to pin. That's going to be a machine that we need. So let's go ahead and grab that. We're also going to need to AutoCraft with that thing probably. So let's go ahead and grab a crafter. We're going to have to probably run our refined storage over to that area of the base, which is quite easy to do. I think we can just even grab it from inside the wall right here. Yeah, perfect. It's like right outside. Not going to be hard to run the cabling over. However, we are going to have to run power to this and also refine storage. So I'm thinking we're going to probably want to grab this compressor if we can make a machine block. And let's grab our compressor. So this is going to be our first machine that we're going to be using. Let's go ahead and put that right here. This does need to get power, of course, and it needs to have an input. Our inputs are going to coming in from the top. And then we're going to be outputting the bottom, of course. So let's grab ourselves a cable. And we are going to need an importer as well. I don't think we're going to need any really fast importers, because I don't think this thing is very fast to begin with. Now, we are going to need some cable from the mod itself, and it looks like this actually will do just the trick, the LV cable. I think if we just take the LV cable like so, we can just run it over like this, and that I think will work just fine. So now this has power. So finally, let's go teach this thing a recipe. There are a couple things we have to teach it. We could teach it the industrial grade metal right in here, but I think we're best doing the industrial metal the other way. We are going to need the carbon plate, like this. We're also going to be able to need to make a carbon fiber mesh. So this is going to take carbon fibers like this, and the carbon fiber takes coal dust from mechanism. And finally, the coal dust can be put through the crusher. So let's go ahead and put that recipe into the crusher right here. So now we can come in here and say, okay, let's make, let's make 8 of these. And hopefully we should start to see this coming in. There we are. It is doing its craft, and it looks like we can upgrade these machines, which we'll probably look at doing. But this should now take the carbon plate and import it back into our system. So I think here is the upgrades right here: the overclocker upgrade, the energy storage upgrade, transformer, and ejector upgrade. Now, I don't know how many of these we're actually going to need. I don't know what all these upgrades really do, but I know that the overclocker probably is a speed upgrade of sorts. So let's go ahead and... What are you guys doing here? Get out of here. Let's go ahead and try and craft up an auto-craft recipe for that overclocker upgrade. And everything here is pretty much all auto-crafted already, except for the small coolant cell, which we don't have the regular fluid cell of water. Unfortunately, there isn't a great way to get auto-crafts of these. Fluid cells of water don't actually have an auto-craft, or don't have a recipe in JEI. Yeah, so basically how you use it, if you just take a fluid cell and you right-click onto, like you can right-click onto a water source to fill them. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to go about automating that, or if we even have to automate that, to be honest. I don't know if it's going to be a huge deal. We already have some fluid cells with water in here. So let's go ahead and make some overclocker upgrades then, because we should have everything we need. Let's try and make 4. Okay, and they're all ready. So can we put 4 of them into this one machine? Oh, we can. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's see how much faster that is now. Let's craft up another 8 of these. So that's quite a bit faster. I wouldn't say it's... I mean, we could probably put more in here. Let's see, how many overclockers can we put? Let's put another 4. And I'm sure we can get at least 8 now. Okay, so it does actually let you put more than 4 in, which is cool. That is flying now. The issue we're having is looks like power can't keep up with this many overclockers. So we'll go ahead and just take it out for them for now. That should be probably plenty fast for what we're needing. But that's really cool. So now we have ourselves that part upgraded, or that part automated. We do have some more automations to do, however, and that is going to be the quad uranium fuel rods. So we're going to set up the recipe for the quads. We're going to need from there dense copper plates, which is done in the compressor as well. We need 8 copper plates to 1 dense copper plate. We're also going to need the dual rods, just like so, which make use of the same thing. And then the basic uranium rods just take the canning machine. They take 1 fluid cell of water and a uranium dust to make the uranium fuel rod. So to auto-craft these plates, we have to send some copper through a rolling machine, and hopefully that'll be fast enough for what we need. Let's see if we have everything we need for the roller. We need a machine block, which again we can make very easily, like so. We also need some aluminum gears, which is also very easy to make. And we can make the roller just by using some of this basic material here, and we should be able to get this roller all done. I actually went ahead and replaced all of these, and I added a whole bunch more of these geothermal generators because we have infinite lava. And these guys will produce me 20 each, so I think I have maybe like 15 or so here. So we might have a decent amount to work with so far in power. I'm using HV cables. They're actually quite cheap. I thought they'd be more expensive, but it's basically the exact same recipe, but just with gold instead of, I think, copper. So these can carry, I believe, 512 per tick, which should be totally fine to carry all the power from these generators. And I think this will be good for the time being. Let's go ahead and add a crafter here for this roller, and we're going to want to add the recipe for, I believe it was the copper plate. The copper plate is what we needed to run through the roller, like so. The dense copper plate we needed for, right, the quad uranium fuel rods required all these dense copper plates. So if we look at the uranium fuel rods, I'm thinking we might be able to make these straight up. Now, how many of these do we actually need? We need 4 for the nuke. So it looks like about everything we're going to need. So let's go ahead and make 4 of those uranium fuel rods. And we have everything we need. So we can go ahead and get this started. We might even be able to add a couple more of the overclocker upgrades because we do have a decent amount of power now that's being transferred into these guys. So let's see if we can add that. Yep, that does seem to be keeping up with the power. So that should be good. While we're waiting for these quad uranium rods to be done, let's go ahead and see if we can make this advanced machine block. This requires just some copper coil, which I believe we can make pretty easily, just like so. And then also we need some of this advanced alloy. Now the advanced alloy, we have to use the mixed metal blend. So it looks like we need to use iron, electrum, and tin. So electrum dust should be easy enough. All we have to do is add a recipe for the dust. Actually, it doesn't look like we can pulverize it, or we can use the macerator. Let's go ahead and make the macerator because we're already in this kind of ecosystem. And that is the macerator. Let's go ahead and make an overclocker for those. Now we just gotta wait for all this to be finished and we should be all set. Here's all of our iron dust, our tin dust, and our electrum dust should be pretty much ready to go as well. I believe the tin dust goes in the bottom, the iron goes on top, and the electrum goes right in the middle. And then we get 3 mixed metal blends out of each of these, and we'll just go ahead and make the full 3 stacks of mixed metal blend. Now, I think the only thing we can do with this is smelt it up, so let's go ahead and dump this into the furnace really quick, and that should give us the advanced alloy. That's going to allow us to come in here and make the machine block. We gotta make one more because we used one. Just like so, and now we can make the advanced machine block. For some reason, the uranium rods didn't finish crafting. I'm not 100% sure why. The uranium fuel rod has to be... Oh, it has to go through the canner. Of course, that's right. That is a mistake. I need to take this out. That's not the right recipe. One your fluid cell and 1 uranium dust is 1 uranium fuel rod. That's right, we need to make a canner really quick. And let's go put this thing over here somewhere. And then the canning machine goes here. Refined storage goes up to there. We're gonna run refined storage up top here just like so. That should hook in no problem. And then we're gonna run our HV cable just around the side here to the actual canning machine itself. So that should give it power. This should be all powered up, ready to go. So now if we come in here and let's try one more time to request 4 of these, that should hopefully go ahead and send what we need to here. But of course, we do not have a way to extract this to refined storage. All right, so that has imported into our system, which means we should have all 4 uranium fuel rods here ready to go. Perfect. And that means that we can just go ahead and craft up these last few pieces and the nuke is all done. And that is what we needed to get for, I believe, let's just check that off the list here. Was it the Philosopher's Fuel? No, but we do need 1 more quad uranium fuel rod for that. So let's go make 1 more of those. We are going to need 1 for that final recipe, but that's great. Let's cover that back up and close it up. Now let's go ahead and take a look at antimatter. Now antimatter is something that we have to make, I believe, using a antimatter constructor. To make this, we need to have iridium circuits as well as the advanced machine blocks. So maybe we'll go ahead and get the advanced machine blocks on Autocraft because these are going to be useful to have on Autocraft probably. Also the machine block itself will probably be a good idea to have. And then just the copper coils. And of course, we need the rods. And finally, the copper spool is just like this. And I believe these can all just get dumped into this crafter right here. And we should be able to go ahead and craft up our advanced machine blocks. As for the iridium circuits, we have to get, it looks like iridium alloy and graphene. Graphene is made by using a piece of obsidian and compressed coal blocks. And the compressed coal is made with coal ball in the compressing machine, which is fine. So let's go ahead and set a crafting recipe again for for these right here. We should have everything we need for this. And then also the recipe for the compressed coal block, which is done in the compressor. The compressor is right here, like so. And then the auto craft for this just goes right here. Which means that we have effectively almost all this ready to go. This is just a simple auto craft up to the graphene piece here. And now we have everything except for the iridium alloy. Iridium alloy is quite expensive, actually. It takes iridium ingots and advanced alloy with a diamond in the middle. So that's going to be pretty pricey. Hopefully we don't need a ton of these. It only takes one for that recipe, so I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. We do have a little bit of iridium, so let's go ahead and grab what we have. What we can actually do is to just double this really quick. We can just take our hammers and our advanced alloy. We have a bulk amount of them, so hopefully that should be okay. Now we can go ahead and just start the craft for this. We have no flint? What? Let's pick a bunch of this. I don't know how we don't have any flint, but anyway. So this should be working on the compressing the coal here into the compressed coal blocks. Let's go ahead and add a couple more overclockers to this because we can speed this up a little bit. We have the power for that, and that should allow us to make the antimatter constructor. This actually needs to, I think, only accept power. So if we just take a power from the back here, put this in, is this going to start pumping in power? It is. Okay, so what happens when is this going to make us one antimatter when it's done here? Oh, it does. Okay, so that's actually very easy. I might just go ahead and grab an importer, have this auto import. Now, the problem we're going to have probably is the power is going to all go to this machine now and not the other machines. So we might only want to run this until we have all the antimatter that we need, just so that we can hopefully make use of the other machines. That's good that we're actually getting the antimatter now, and that's what we need to make the antimatter crystal. These energy crystals are actually very easy. I can make a whole bunch of these. We need 4 of these antimatter crystals for the recipe. So we're basically just waiting now for antimatter to be done, and then we're basically ready to go with these to get the Wither's Compass. This antimatter is much faster than this antimatter here, so this isn't even close to the amount of power that mechanism takes. It's actually a relief that this antimatter is as easy as it is. But let's look ahead here. We're almost done with FTB Industrial Contraptions. We almost have this antimatter crystal ready to go, and we only need, I believe, 4 of these. We also need 1 EV solar panel. This is a little bit more expensive. This requires the previous tier of solar panel all the way down to the basic tier, the LV solar panel, which we can auto-craft here, it looks like. So how expensive is it to make this EV solar panel? We need 6 of these, which means we need 6 of these, and it's basically a whole bunch of nested craftings. So this could be a problem for us because we need 6 for this. We need 6 of these, which means we need 36 of these MVs. So we need 36 times 6. We need 216 of the LV solar panels. And I don't know if we're going to be able to craft those. Let's see. Solar panels. 216. Oh, we do actually have all the stuff required. So let's just go ahead and start that. But it actually seems to be going pretty quick. After we do this, I'm just going to go ahead and see if we can just craft 1 of these HVs by themselves. We probably don't have everything we need to get this already. We'll probably have to do a little bit more crafting of some advanced alloys and such, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. And the LV solar panels have finished. Let's see if we can craft an HV solar panel. Oh, we can. We have everything we need to craft 1 of these. Oh, the HV. Sorry, we needed more of these. We needed 6 of these. We need 1 EV solar panel. So let's, I guess it's going to be doing its thing for a while now. Probably going to have to craft some stuff in here. Yep. Hopefully we do have enough for this EV solar panel, but regardless, we should have almost enough stuff ready for the antimatter crystal. We just need 1, 2, oh, we can only make 2 so far, but that's okay. We are hopefully be getting more of this antimatter coming in fairly quickly. Can we craft 1 EV solar panel? We are missing, it looks like we're only missing energy crystals, and those are really cheap actually, right? I was just making a ton of these earlier. I can make a bunch, let's say 30. And now we go solar panel here. And we should have then everything we need to craft this final tier of solar panel. And here it is, the EV solar panel. And that is, I think, what we needed for the Nexium emitter. We needed one of those. Perfect. Okay, in terms of the Nexium emitter then, are we almost done? We need, oh, the Tesla coil from Immersive. That'll be another episode, probably coming very soon. But that's all the solar panels we're gonna need from this mod. Finally, all we have to do is craft up a couple more of these antimatter crystals, and that should be the last of the antimatter crystals that we actually need. We now have 4 of these, which means we can go ahead and craft the Wither Compass. The Wither Compass is now complete. That's a huge step. We get this done and another reward here, which is awesome. And we can go and set this up by our other trophies. Put it right here, just like so. And the Wither Compass, I believe, goes at the bottom. Nope, at the top. Right. Oh, yeah, it hurts you if you hold it. We'll put that down really quick. You get the wither effect if you're holding it. But there it is. It is on the star. So yet another piece of the star done. The final thing that we need from this mod, I believe, is the nuclear reactor block. Now, this just takes a basic generator, an iridium circuit, and then 7 of the nuclear reactor chambers. We already have these 2 on autocraft, and the nuclear reactor chambers come in packs of 3. So we need 3 of these, which means that we have all these auto-crafted except for the reactor plating. The reactor plating is pretty easy. It's just some lead plates and the advanced alloy. So let's go ahead and grab that really quick. And the lead plate we can put through the rolling machine. And now we can craft a nuclear reactor. If I go ahead and put that on autocraft as well. And I know we need 9 of these. So we're just gonna go ahead and start that up. And hopefully we should get that pretty much right away. And it's finishing up and it should be all done. It means that we have our nuclear reactor chambers and we can go ahead, finish the last couple auto crafts. And that should mean that we can go ahead and craft the nuclear reactor. And there it is. The nuclear reactor. Now we could use this, I believe, to make power, but I think we're just going to use it for the recipe itself. And that means that within this recipe here, all we're missing is the Firite ingot from Elemental Craft. Can't believe how close we're actually getting to finishing the All the Mods Star. I'm very, very excited. But that's going to do it for this episode of All the Mods 8. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, be sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. It's the best place to keep up to date on everything going on. But that's it for me, everybody. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye!